What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Today, everything is going against the Bible clock's work from being done. Every weapon is being formed against us. But as you know, in the YPG, no weapon or technicalities formed against us shall prosper. My mic is legit just muted here on the system. I don't know why I didn't want to unmute, but it's all good. We restarted. Can you hear me now? It's 100%, right? Awesome. We are back and back with a bang. Today, not going to take too long because 21 minutes of our time has already been burnt. But it's going to be worth each and every minute which you guys waited. And I want to thank you and commend you for waiting. Patience. That's one of the tracks we usually start at the very beginning, the very foundation of the Bible clock. You know that patience is the track. What's good, YPG fam? I hope you guys have had an awesome weekend. I hope you guys have been taking care of yourselves. And if you didn't have an awesome weekend, what is, or rather awesome week, if you haven't had an awesome week, I hope the Bible Clock fam will be able to take good care of you and take things to another level. I am going to kick off, not going to wait for the break, not going to hold up with much because we've already had more than 20 minutes of delay here. The computer wasn't here. Everything was up and down. The computer was glitching. The sound was glitching. Didn't want to start when we were starting here. I don't know, but that's the least of our problems. We keep moving forward. I am going to kick off with the questions, the Q&A. As every week, you guys are sending your questions through, and we're taking some time to answer them. There is one question which is quite controversial, and I don't know how I'm going to answer it. I just saw it, well, I usually see it just before, but this one I just saw it just before, like, whoa, I read it like in passing, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to read it. There has been no time for me to premeditate. I usually get it just before. So I hope you guys are ready for it. I'm going to kick off with question number one. Question number one. What are healthy ways to deal with anger? That's an awesome question. I think every week the questions are getting more and more important, more and more relevant to our daily lives. What are healthy ways to deal with anger? I think dealing with anger as such is healthy on its own. I just want to make one thing clear. It has nothing to do with being angry, but controlling rather your anger, dealing with your anger in the sense where you do not allow your anger to control you. You do not permit your anger to take charge of your actions, nor permit your actions to be led by your anger. I think it's always remembering the consequences of every single moment in our lives when we permit our feelings to lead, our anger. Because when we are angry, we say things and do things we later regret. How often does that happen? How many times in your life have you done things based on your anger and you regret it after? So I think that's one of the first things you need to do is understand and remember that you may enjoy right now. You may insult that person to the lowest degree, but it will take minutes, hours, maybe days, or even years where you will actually regret the moment in which you permitted those words to go. And words especially are like bullets. Once it's gone, you really can't take it back. Once you've said those words, there's no turning back. They're said. Sometimes it's not word, it's actions. There are many examples of people who today are in prison, not because they are criminals per se, but they became a murderer in a moment of anger. They didn't premeditate that murder. They didn't, stop and think and plan the murder of that person. They didn't wake up that day and say, I am going to kill that person. But I think that there was a moment in which they allowed their emotions to speak louder than their intelligence. And because of that, today they are suffering the consequences of it. And I think whenever we look forward, whenever we notice and remember the consequences of listening to our emotions rather than our intelligence, because anger is not here. Anger is here. Anger is not in your mind because your mind is reminding you about the future. Our mind is constantly thinking about the future. It's more advanced than AI. Yesterday I entered the car and immediately when I set the maps thing, it predicted, do you want to go to Wits University? Because every Friday I go to Wits University at that time. So it was amazing. But our mind is even much more advanced than AI. As a matter of fact, our minds created AI. Just, putting that out there. So your mind will calculate what's going to happen. Your mind is going to calculate the consequences of listening to your emotion. And that's a constant fight between this and this and this. I remember there was an example a few years ago where we were given a ruler in church and we were told that the difference between heaven and hell is 30 centimeters, more or less the distance between our mind and our heart. When we take decisions using our minds, we make it to heaven, even if it's heaven on earth. When we take decisions using our feelings, our emotions, hell breaks loose, and we will immediately regret that decision, that choice. So I think whenever you stop and you notice and you think about the consequences of listening to your emotions, your anger in this case, you will realize that it's totally not worth it. Think before. Breathe. Somebody mentioned here, practice breathing techniques. Oh yes, count until 10, 20, 30, 100, whichever number you need to count. Just make sure that whatever you do, don't take actions based on your anger. I repeat, it's not about not being angry. Everybody gets angry. There's a moment where we get angry. Just don't take decisions based on your anger. Rather take no decision. When you cool down, go and deal with the issue. You want to say something to someone, don't speak out of anger because you're going to say what you shouldn't say and you'll definitely regret it after. You will regret it after. Many marriages are broken, relationships are broken, friendships are broken because somebody decided to use their words based on what they were feeling. So remember that. There are other methods, but I think one of the most important is remembering the consequences of listening to that anger. It's looking there and not just here. Question number 2, how do you deal with pressure and stress, work, school, etc.? The fact is pressure and stress is everywhere. Even in the YPG, at times there will be pressure and sometimes maybe a bit of stress. I'll give my life story of every time before a major YPG event, usually months or a few weeks before June 16, I think I'm a little bit unbearable. I don't eat much. I don't deal very well. Not that I don't deal very well, but my mind is just so focused on that. I just try to not allow that to destroy the other areas. For example, my relationship, my marriage, my friendships, and the people around me. Not to take that unbearable vibe to others, because that's an issue that I need to deal with. That pressure's on me and not necessarily as much on everyone else. So I need to carry that burden and understand that I got to do what I got to do. So dealing with it is understanding that pressure and stress is going to be there, but also don't allow yourself to be too obsessed with what's going on and allow that to lead your life. We cannot forget the importance of relationships, of our friends, of our family members, of the other moments in our lives which are important, and allow that stress, because usually that pressure, that stress is for a while. What is it? For first year, second year? You're not going to be first year forever. You're not going to be matric forever. So you need to understand that that is passing. Give your best for that moment and move forward. I'm going to go to the third question. How to choose friends as they have a big impact in one's life? That's awesome. I think everybody will have a certain degree or a list more or less of the kind of people they want to have around. I think one of the first things I say when choosing someone is, as the question is, says, the impact they have in one's life. I will start by asking, what impact will this person have in my life? Positive? Will he, will she make me a better person? Or will this person, make me someone worse? What is the mirror? Because we usually say there's an old proverb which will go, which goes by, what does it say? Tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. So when people say that this is my friend, what will they associate me with? This person is always negative. This person is always lazy. This person is always a gossiper. This person is always a liar. My association with them, I can be guilty by association. I think that is so important that we stop and think about that. Many people are guilty by association. If you're chilling with a group of people who are dealing drugs or abusing drugs, and the police comes by, but you're not using drugs, you're not abusing or anything, you're not dealing drugs, what will the police do? Will they stop and say, hey, you're not doing drugs, it's okay, you can go scot-free? Only the others know. They're going to arrest everybody. So remember that your friends are a long distance label of who you are. They are a character of you, a similarity of who you are without you being actually there. So think about that. I always think about the impact that person has, not only on what people are going to say, but in actually my life. For example, I can't deal with negative people. I can't stand people who always find a problem for every solution. Instead of finding a solution for every problem, there are people who find a problem for every solution. I can't deal with them. I can't, because I feel like that negativity can rub off on me, and I don't want that to rub off on me. I want to be far from that. I want to stay positive. I want to be strong. I want to be that friend who you guys will say, PJ is that kind of person who's going to, keep my spirits up and bring the vibes that we need, for me to keep believing another day. All right. I hope that answers your question. The last question is very, very, very interesting and extremely important. It says, is it good to have a licensed gun for protection? I am not going to answer this with much details. I'm just going to remind us that where do you depend? Where is your dependence on? And the famous saying that you live by the gun, you die by a gun. Do you think that gun will protect you? Because if a guy has to rob you when you are not armed, he knows he doesn't have to go as hard as if he knows you are armed. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. If he knows that you are armed, just remember that the aggression might be a little bit more. It's something to think about, but I think it's not in my place to say, hey, get a gun, don't get a gun. I think you should answer that to yourself. You should answer yourself. I'm going to carry a gun. What am I trying to prove? Intimidation to others? No, I'm only going to use it if somebody comes to me. Are you willing to live with the fact that you may pull the trigger on someone and take a life away just because they wanted to rob you your phone? If you've ever had your phone robbed, I remember years ago, I was in grade 11 rather, and somebody robbed me at gunpoint, took my phone, and I remember I loved that phone. The phone is gone, years have gone by. But imagine if I had reacted and shot that guy. The scars of that moment would be in my life until today. Years, over a decade later, the scars would still be here haunting me. So I want you to think about that. Okay, you may defend yourself. What if your defense is a little bit more, but there are people who are evil. Is vengeance yours or of the Lord? Something to think about. I like the question. Very good. I'm very happy to answer this kind of question, but I don't think I have the answer for you. I think you should just remember this, especially if you're someone like question number 1 or question number 2. You're someone who has issues with anger, or you are struggling to deal with pressure and stress. All right. We're going to go for a short break, and when we come back, I'm going to introduce to you guys the latest segment here on the Vibe O'Clock, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. We're not going to stop having the couples here, although today we're not going to have a couple, but next week we will. But I am going to introduce to you guys a brand new segment, and I hope you guys are going to love it. So stay connected, stay tuned. We are going to be right back.
9 ini, eh? 9 na uyangithuka.
Kulala wena, kulala wena.
Fear, you won't take me down. Hate, you won't steal my crown. King with no kingdom, a prince with no peace. You've had your day, yeah, but today that's not me. 'Cause when I walk through the fires of life now, I won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. God, you walk through the fires with me, so I won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. I lift my arms up, I cast my cares up with faith like a child, oh, no matter what, no matter what. When I walk through the fires of life now, won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. Keep on, yeah. Keep on, now. We so yeah, the first and the last word on our tongue. Fight the good fight, push back the darkness, light up the night, light it up, light it up. When I walk through the fires of life now, won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. God, you walk through the fires with me, so I won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. I cast my cares up with faith like a child, oh, no matter what, no matter what. When I walk through the fires of life now, won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. I can feel my soul getting freed now, laying all my burdens down, I'm free now, singing hallelujah, I'm redeemed now. I can feel my soul getting freed now, laying down my burdens, I'm free now, singing hallelujah, I'm redeemed now, hallelujah, hallelujah. When I walk through the fires of life, won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. God, you walk through the fires with me, so won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid. I lift my eyes up, I cast my cares up, faith like a child, oh, no matter what, no matter what. When I walk through the fires of life now, won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no.
Okay, guys, I'm having technicality here again. I think you guys can hear me, but the sound is probably terrible. I don't know why it is refusing to unmute my mic. I have no idea what is wrong. I know that you guys can hear me, but it's terrible. I don't know why. It's showing this into the mic. It's bad, guys. I don't know why. It's just muted on its own. It's just muted on its own. Bear with me. I'm trying to sort it out. But it seems like I might have the issue of it disconnecting. Again, it just doesn't want to unmute. What to do, guys? What to do? Hold on. Okay, I think you guys can hear me now. All right. Should be back. I don't know, guys. Today, the system is really acting up. It's really being weird. It keeps muting my mic. It's doing it on its own, guys. Please tell me that you guys can hear me right now. It should be. I can see because it was working on the other microphone here. It's really a hassle today. And it's not technicalities in my hands. It's technicality with people. But it's all good. Thank you so much. I'm back indeed, Subsiso. The new segment, which we're going to be introducing here, is going to be sharing different careers which our YPG fam has. We have quite a few different careers. I got a list of them, and I wanted really to be able to hear what they're up to. So many different careers. I'm not going to share them. I'm not going to share them today, but I want you guys to get to know, a little bit about that life. There are some who are still very, very curious or not yet set on what they want to study, what they want to do. Others are still confused, and others have started something and they're not sure if that's really what they want. And there are some who really want something, but they don't know if that's going to be that profitable for them. So this segment, we're going to bring professionals who are from the YPG, and they're going to be sharing with us a little bit about their career, or a little bit about, that career and what it's all about. What's the pros, what's the con, what's the difficulty around it, and so forth. Isabel says that the system is acting up because there are no couples for us to take notes. Probably. But you guys can take notes career-wise. This one is brought to you by the YPG Universities. Unfortunately, I see that our guest has disconnected. Luyanda, who is I want to get it right. I don't want to get the career wrong. Sorry, guys. Let me just get it right here. She works for the airlines operation. She's a qualified, she's here. She's a qualified flight attendant. And she's going to tell us a little bit about the work. As a matter of fact, she hasn't started flying. She will start operating beginning of next year. She just got back here. So let me just hoy her here. Allow me to just hoy her here in the thingy so you guys can see her. Luyanda, can you hear me?
Yes, teacher, I can hear you.
How are you doing? I think your internet is a little bit, it's glitching a little bit, so I can't hear you too well. I can't hear you. I don't know if it's where you are or if it is, or maybe just your network or something, because your thing is dropping a little bit. Are you still there? Not there. Oh, guys, today, we have all the odds playing against us. Shame. Luyanda's there. I'm sure she's trying to speak. I figured that there was this possibility because when I saw she was disconnecting and reconnecting, I can hear you. Can you still hear us? Hi, Luyanda. Can you still hear us? Okay, seems like she probably can't hear us, guys. She probably can't hear us. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you guys the message which we have for today, saying that our time is more than up. And unfortunately, we had the delays, we had those glitches, everything is going against us, but we don't stop. I'm still going to share with you guys what we wanted to share with you guys. Should Luyanda be able to reconnect here, then we'll put her back here in the game and we carry on with our short interview. What I wanted to say to you, I was noticing something, and please allow me to be a bit confrontational in this case. And I'm going to use something which I see a lot with the ladies, but it's also something which guys are victims of in a different way. Not in the same way as ladies, but in a different way. I've seen many cases where a lady will be walking by street somewhere and these guys will start hitting on her. Hello, baby, what's up? Stuff. My baby is sure, beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And I find it intriguing how very easily, many times, I've seen this, I don't know how many times, A lady may even say, I am not interested, acting like she's not interested. But there's always that smirk. Kind of like, that smile, like, stop it, I like it. And it always gets me thinking, what does this human being want? Does she want him to keep doing that or not? Or kind of like, I'm interested, but I'm not interested. So many questions resound in my mind, because I kind of feel like if somebody's not interested, a lady is not interested, she should, she will put that frown on and be like, yo, bro, or just ignore, walk on with a serious face and not smile like, hey, I liked it. It kind of gets me thinking, is she enjoying that? Is she valuing herself with a stranger whistling or calling her? Maybe she never had really somebody to compliment her. But I'm sorry, I think when you have this conviction of who you truly are, the beauty is inside of you, the confidence is inside of you, you don't need strangers to do that for you. The same goes with the guys. Sometimes a girl will persuade a guy to do something easily, and he'll be so easily taken by what she's going to say. Many times you'll hear a guy doing certain things that are a bit offish, and it's kind of like, no, because my girl wanted me to do it, or I did it for my girl. And it's kind of like, of course, you're married, you love somebody, you're going to obviously do a lot to please that person, but not change your values and your principles for anyone. I've been married now for 6 years and a couple of months, and there are things which Dali has managed to, I won't say change, but improve in me, but not change me. There are other things which she's not going to change about me, because it forms part of my personality, and some of them form part of my principles. And some of them she doesn't like it. Just as with her, there's certain things which I won't like that she does. But that's part of her personality. That's part of who she is. I'm not saying now she'd be like, this is who I am, I don't have to change for anyone. I'm not talking about that case. I'm talking about the case in which it's kind of like this. It's part of your day-to-day person. It doesn't make you a better or a worse person. It just is a preference which somebody else doesn't like. I'm trying to think of one here. Oh, here's one. I think I'm a bit rubbing it a little bit off on her. This one's rubbing a bit off on her. But I like loud music. I like loud music. I am somebody who, I like loud music. If I'm in the car and I'm alone, boom, boom, boom. I enjoy that. Dali doesn't enjoy it that much. Sometimes when she's with me, but there's a moment where she's going to be like, okay, let's put it down and that's it. Is it wrong to like loud music? No, it's not. Is it right to not like loud music? Not necessarily. So she's not going to change that. It's just part of who I am. And she knew that I was kind of like that. I had this loudness in me. I'm talkative. I joke. I'm a straight talker at times. And, that's pretty much it. But there are certain things which have improved a lot, which has helped me improve. I'm not talking about that, people. I'm talking about when you completely change your routine in life for someone else. You depend on that person to give you value, to make you feel better about yourself. You depend on that person's compliments. You depend on that person to tell you what you need to hear. And if that person doesn't tell you what you need to hear, your world crashes. We've been having the couples joining us every week here. And we have all a different way we men have different ways of charming our wives. I charm my wife and I tell her every day how beautiful she is. I compliment her and stuff. But I don't think she's going to die if there's a day I go by and I don't tell her she's beautiful. I don't think she will die if there's a day that goes by and I am not as talkative, or I'm not as chilled, or maybe there are days where I'm not in the best of moods, guys. Honestly, I have that as well. I have my bad days too. I like being jolly. I like being how do you call it? I like being hyperactive. I am hyperactive. But believe it or not, there are days where I'm not that hyperactive. Does that mean that I'm a bad person? Does that mean like, yo, now her day is going to drop because of that? No. My point here is to say to you that we need to learn to value ourselves on our own without depending on others. Who is it whom you've placed your dependence on? Human beings put their dependence too much on people and things. And when they lose that thing or they lose that person, their world comes crashing down. I want to tell you to value yourself. To you ladies who sometimes you have so much inside of you, the beauty which is inside of you, and you're expecting only to show it on the outside to get the attention of people. I want to say to you that you don't need to depend on anybody for that. You don't need to depend on a guy to tell you how beautiful you are, how special you are. Goes back to the cases which I say, I'm always baffled by that. I wonder, like, what's going on? Sure, baby, a bunch of guys. The other day I saw a lady at the corner here, and there were two guys calling her, and she legit stopped to listen to them, and she's like, no, I angaz and stuff, and I'm like, you don't know, or you're waiting for them to persist a little longer. Literally, two guys walk up to you in the middle of a street in a country which we know very well. I'm sorry to bring this up, but we know very well is stricken by GBV. And you meet these two, not just one, but two random strangers who are hollering at you, and they ask you for her number. They pull out the phone. You could obviously clearly see that these are two complete strangers. And I stop and I wonder, like, what is going on? What I see is somebody who's dying of low self-esteem. The same I see when somebody has to post on social media half-naked pictures. She's doing that because, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to get nailed for this, but I'm sorry, she's not doing this because, it's my body. No, it's because you need to show your body because you don't value yourself enough, so you need people to give you that value. You need people to give you that ticket. That ticket for you is a like or followers, for people to look at you and say, wow, you're so awesome, you're so special. I want to be like you. I wish I could be like you. And you don't know that the moment those compliments don't come, or the moment the same person who usually supplies you, fills you with those compliments and that so-called value does the opposite, your world comes crashing down. And then there's suicidal thoughts, then there's depression, there are, all sorts of scars in that person. Learn to value yourself. And that value is born inside of you. That value and that beauty is born inside of you, ladies. And for you guys, I'm not going to say the value is born inside of you. The beauty is inside of you guys. The confidence. The beauty of a man is not beauty. The beauty of a man is actually his confidence. Note, ladies, write this one down. If a guy doesn't have confidence, bye-bye. Ladies, listen to me. If he's not confident, what confidence is he going to give you? If he's not confident with himself, if he's always questioning his abilities, if he's always questioning the idea of failure, he might not be the best looking guy. He might not be that guy who looks the way you want him to look. He might not have that curly hair you're looking for, or those eyes you're looking for, or he's all buff, he's got that chest all sticking out. He might not have that, but if he's got confidence within himself, he may look like a rat, but inside of him, there's a lion that whatever happens, he's going to keep you going. Please think about that. And that's not just, I'm using the aspect of relationship, but that's all areas of your life. For example, there are people who their value is in their work. It's in their job. And the moment they lose their job, they lost it all. The world comes crashing down. There are people whose value is in money. So when they lose their money, they lose everything. Or maybe they keep their money, but they lose with people because they are unbearable, because they think that money is everything. And people are only there for their money. So they keep making and showing off their money. Oh, look at the car I bought. Look at the mansion I have. Look, I'm wearing Louis, Gucci, Prada, head to feet. I'm wearing the cheap brand here. But guess what? I've got this confidence that I can lose everything I have. Every single thing I have. You know, it reminds me of something. Bishop usually uses he oftentimes, I'm sure you've heard Bishop, I don't know how many times I've heard Bishop say this, and I have to say it is timeless. He says, when you have, you know, this confidence inside of you, you might eat the simplest tea and bread, but it tastes so amazing. Whilst there are people who, they enter a restaurant, where's my phone? The first thing they do is take pictures to post. I'll be honest, if you go on my phone, you're going to find food pictures, which sometimes I do it to share with my friends. Guess what I'm eating? I know somebody likes sushi, so check, I'm eating sushi. And guess what I'm eating? I'm eating sushi and stuff. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who need to take pictures to say, listen, I am in this special restaurant. Look what I'm eating. Look what I'm here, this expensive restaurant. Look what I have. And people are like, wow. Oh my goodness, you're so cool. Look, she went to that restaurant. He's living the life, and like and comment, and everybody's there. Maybe you don't have that. You don't get to eat caviar and sushi and salmon and all those fancy things, but you eat simple chicken wings when payday comes, 30th or the 1st comes, or your mom or your dad give you that allowance, and you go and you rush to what you call this chicken licking, and you say, I want hot wings, not my hot wings or zinger wings and stuff, and it's the simplest. Or you buy that gota, and it just tastes so amazing. It's something so simple, and you don't do it to show to anyone. You just do it to show to yourself. Learn to value yourself. You don't need people to give you the likes, the follows, the shares. You might be the kind of person who you post a picture after picking from 100. I'm not saying as a lady you're going to wake up, and as a lady ladies won't literally wake up and just post a picture where her hair is all over the show like a cat got a shock, you know. I don't expect the ladies won't do that. Obviously, you're going to make yourself up to your hair. That's not a problem. But maybe you're so obsessed with that, with the makeup. Nothing wrong with wearing makeup. My beloved wears makeup. But, you know, I do think you don't have to wear makeup to the point where it becomes a mask. When I say a mask, not saying that being shady, but I say a mask in the sense of trying to cover the reality that's going on inside of you. We're all young. We're all young here. And we're not going to be young forever. I've got no wrinkles. I don't have any wrinkles. I don't have the chicken feet. I don't. But shame, one day the chicken feet will come. Okay, these are Chinese eyes, guys. I'm trying to, you know, emulate the chicken feet. One day, you know, we're going to get there. But the confidence is going to be inside of me. I was sharing with one of our colleagues. I was saying to him, I love working out. Dali and I, we both love working out. We work out either in the morning or in the evening. We like staying fit. And this year, well, we reached our 3rd floor. We're now officially in the 3rd floor. My goodness, hard to believe, but yeah. And I said, I want to be a cool Madala. I don't want to be a Madala who's got nothing. I want to have that inside of me. But what good is it for me to be all good, all. Well, I don't work out for being buff, guys. As you can see, I don't work out for being buff. But I'm saying I work out to stay fit. But what good is it for me to be fit on the outside if I'm not fit here? If I'm dying here? If I need Dali to tell me that she loves me, what happens if she leaves me? What if one day she says to me, Papaini? That won't happen, pretty sure. Confident, make sure my A game is on, guys, with my wife. But even if that were to happen, what if she passes away? Oh, PJ, you shouldn't be thinking about that. Well, she's human. All it takes for somebody to pass on is for her to be alive. Does my world come crashing? Do I die because of that? No, I keep going on. I keep believing. I maintain that focus and that confidence that's inside of me, that value which no money can buy. And that value is being tried to, there's always an attempt to take it away from us, to be taken away from us every single day. Just wrapping up, I think it was the Apostle John who says, our old YPG t-shirts used to say, because you are strong. And it's written there, I write to you young men because you are strong. But our strength is not just a physical one, but it's here. Maintain that and keep that forever. Notice old people, our elders aren't concerned about their looks. You don't see your granny posting selfies there. You don't see your granny pouting, and putting filters. Do you see that? No. My granny's on WhatsApp, guys. My granny, she WhatsApps me. She WhatsApped me this week, and she likes sending voice messages. But she's not, her profile picture is her dog. So she's not really concerned about her looks and stuff. Because as we age, we realize the value of life, and the greatest value is inside of us. All right. So be careful with putting your dependence on people. Our dependence needs to be, and that's exactly what the YPG stands for, day after day. All right. I want to read a couple of your comments. Let me just check here if our flight attendant can actually be able to talk to us. Luyanda, are you there? I'm hoping she can hear us now. Let me just put her here, and we will obviously carry on discussing. Luyanda, can you hear us? Please.
Yes,
Wait.
teacher, I can hear you. Please forgive my voice. I have flu, so I'm not so clear.
No problem. I'm not going to extend it much. Tell us a little bit about your flight attendant life. I did hear that you are not yet in the flights, but you'll be starting from next year.
Yeah, at the moment, I'm currently working for the airline operations office. But yeah, basically, I'm looking forward to flying for an international airline
Okay.
outside South Africa.
What are the requirements for you to be a flight attendant? I heard there's we only know about the height.
You need to be 21 years and older. You need to be able to swim. If you can't swim, then you can't fly. You need to be medically fit. So before you can even go for training, you need to go to an aviation doctor to be tested if you are medically fit or not. If you pass that test, you get your medical certificate. That's when you can go to the right aviation school and start your training. And then you need to pass English with 60% and above. You need to, yeah, I think those, yeah, be tall, obviously. You can't fly if you're short.
What's the shortest that's permitted? Just to break some hearts already. Oh no, this is the best part. This is the part I was hoping. Can you still hear us, Leander? Oh no. Shame, guys. I think she's having some issues. I'm gonna leave it
PJ, I
ready.
did not get that. Please repeat.
Oh, she's back. Okay, let's put you back. I was asking, what is the minimum height requirement? Can you hear me? Oh, guys, it's so bad. It really sucks. I really wanted to hear this. I see that some of y'all are already saying that y'all would be disqualified because of the whole swimming issue. Swimming, I'm out. But yes, tell us, Luyanda, if you can hear me, tell us what is the minimum requirement, height requirement. I don't know if you can hear me now. Shame, guys. We're really struggling. Luyanda, do you want to speak via the phone? Is that fine? Okay, I'm going to ask Tuso to try to call it. Tuso, please try to call it, as we are going to have to wrap up and see if we manage to get her to connect. I really, really, really want to hear this. I want to know what is the minimum requirement. And I also have quite a few questions I want to ask her. Meanwhile, let's carry on here with the comments. Let me just make sure. I don't know if she's listening. I'm hoping she can. So please try to get her on the phone, even if you make a whole conference call. I want to wrap it up talking to her, even if we don't we can't see her, but if at least we can hear her, that's all good. I'm ready. I'm waiting. And so are the Viboclockians. Sorry, guys. No, producers. I like here. Xolelo says that. Why isn't her comment showing here? Let's read this one together. My husband wakes up like he didn't sleep. Talkative, hyped up 4 a.m. in the morning, and I'm the total opposite. 9 years later, we can't change each other. Yeah, that's basically like I was saying. There's certain things that once you change, I mean, it's about you, and your partner is not necessarily going to change. Halalelu says, I once learned the word for that situation. It's codependency. That's very powerful, guys. Maybe you have been codependent on people. Really dangerous, because you depend on another human being to validate your self-esteem. Listen to that, guys. Do you depend on people? It might be people, but it might be things as well, which you've permitted to actually give you the validation. And if that thing doesn't, your success, your marks at school, but your world comes crashing down. Okay. This is too much. Just what this generation needs to hear. Okay. Let me see another one. Tapelo says, confidence makes what seems to be impossible possible. Definitely. When you're confident, guys, nothing can really stop you. And my love also is here in the comment section. She says, exactly, PJ. I knew my value before knowing you, but I'm glad for you to add to it, though my life doesn't depend on it. So that's the kind of thing that, is good that you need to have. The person who you meet, whether it's the person or that thing, that job, that career, that money, whatever it is, it needs to add to your life. It doesn't mean that you are codependent on it and that now your life will come crashing down because of it. Chanel says, love life, always winning. Can't end the Bible clock without it. Of course, Razo Razo says, guys, stop being like rats. Yeah. Well, I think the rat mentality, please, guys, I'm not calling anybody a rat. I'm just saying, don't have the rat mentality. Sinesisa. This reminds me of the message we received in the Hangout of DM. A defined mind is a mind that has the ability to reason. Precisely. Reason. Doesn't depend on others for it. Moses says, don't cast away your confidence. It's your great reward. You said it all. You quoted it all. Nomvula says, true, PJ, confidence in the guy, it's one of the best checkpoints in a woman's list. But you know what worries me is that lately, I've seen many women accept settling for less. That's what worries me. Offensive says, guys, PJ said he might look like a rat, but if he has confidence, look, he might. I'm not saying y'all should be looking for the rats and say, okay, he looks like. Guys, there's nothing to do with looks. Gosh, we spoke about this last week. Confidence, offensive, confidence already in my notes. Oh my goodness. Let's go. Slindy, it says, be careful not to attach yourself to something that can be taken away from you. Your value and confidence are keepers. Sorry, my phone was on Do Not Disturb. You can call me now. I'm so sorry. You can call me now. Okay. Guys, Offense is back. Offense, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay, just switch off your mic on eCam. Let me go off here. I'll just throw you out of here so that we don't have the confusion. So we were asking, and everybody wants to know. Yo, guys, we're going back and forth today. Everybody wants to know, what is the minimum requirement, height requirement to be a flight attendant?
Okay, well, honestly, I think it also depends with the airline because As much as they say you need to be tall, but there are short flight attendants. So basically, your body needs to be in proportion with your height.
Okay. Okay. So they
Yeah,
go with your
you can
BMI.
fly even yes,
Okay.
basically.
So for those of you who are feeling like it's hopeless, there's a way out. There is a solution. There is hope for you guys to be able to one day become a flight attendant. Tell us about the pros and cons, the interesting parts of the work so far. You haven't flown yet, have you? Or you haven't done it full time? Explain that to us.
I haven't done it full time, but well, the good thing that comes with being a flight attendant is the benefits that you get, like your housing benefit, your car benefit, you get to travel the world, the allowances, the layovers. So I think that's the most interesting part. You get to see the world, you get to see different people.
What made you decide to be a flight attendant?
Because I love traveling
You love traveling.
so much, yes.
And then what happens like with the tiredness and stuff? Like how do you overcome that and being away from family and stuff? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, it's so tiring, especially when you're far from home or even when you're staying at home, but like you have to leave the country time and again because of the hours. The hours are so awkward, they're so odd. So I think that's the only thing that's tiring. It's the hours and the days that you have to work and sleeping over in another country, the different time zones. So I think that's the only tiring thing about the job.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that? How do you balance things out? The part where you don't see your family much. How do you deal with that?
Okay, well, with me, I'm still at home.
Okay.
I haven't traveled out of South Africa.
Okay.
But as much, okay, I do feel pressure at the moment as well because, I'm working for the biggest airline in the country. So there's so much pressure, like every day. It's so strenuous. But yeah, I do find my balance time and again.
My most important question, which is what I was thinking, Ado was asking the same question here on the comment section. Importantly, your spiritual life. How do you balance that? How do you make time for that? And she's specifically asking, are you able to attend church while traveling?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Well, I don't get enough time like I used to before because obviously I need to be at work like 6 days and be at home for 3 days. And on Sundays, not all Sundays, but most of my Sundays I'm at work. So yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, but I mean, if you force yourself, if you're determined to, balance your spiritual life, then yeah, it works. But also, I think for anyone who wants to come into this industry, they need to understand that it's not so easy. It's not so easy. You need to take care of your spiritual life because there's a lot going on. Not only the hours, not only being away from home, but everything that is happening within the industry as well. So if you want to come here, you really need to take care of your relationship with God because it's not easy.
I'm so happy to hear this because I know that a lot of people they get into this and they say, "Wow, I want to be a flight attendant and I want to travel the world," but they forget that important factor, guys. Not forgetting that we want to see you guys succeeding in all the areas of your life, but above all, we don't want to lose you and lose, most importantly, the values that and the principles which you guys are taught here. I mean, what good is it for you guys to be successful but lose yourself in the process? Tell us an interesting story before we wrap up about your career, and tell us a little bit what would you, or rather, what would you say to those who are interested in pursuing this career?
What I would say is just like find more info. Obviously, if there's someone who wants more info, I'm always willing to help. But do your research first. Make sure it's something that you want to do, because you'll be far from home, you'll be far from friends, you'll be spending days in foreign countries. So just make your research. Be sure that you want to be away from home. You are ready to be away from home. And you need to have the love for people. You need to love traveling. You need to love interacting with different people. You need to be interested in different cultures and different in how people, live their lives on a daily basis. Because if you don't like people, if you don't like learning about people's cultures and their way of living, then you won't survive. Because every day you get to meet new people with different stories from all different walks of life. So you need to be a people's person, basically.
Yeah, I agree. I have flown before, and these flight attendants were like scary, and you wanted to ask them for something like, "It's okay, I'm fine. I'm not hungry." Yeah, I hope you can help the others, educate them a little bit on that note. I think that's about it. I don't see any other questions here regarding it. I don't know if there's any other thing which you would like to share, Luyanda, to the YPG fam.
Okay, if there's anyone who wants to be a flight attendant around Joburg, you can go to EPT Aviation. I'll just write that in the comment section now.
Okay.
So you can Google EPT Aviation. That's where they offer the course. Remember, you need to know how to swim. Your English needs to be good. You need to be medically fit. And that's when you can
I think
go to the school.
the swimming might not be the worst. I think the English in the case of some. Oops, sorry guys, I just said that there. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I'll add the name of the school in the comment section now on Facebook.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Luyanda. Where are you based? Which branch are you from? Guatemala. Please send a shout out. How did I forget, Luyanda? I'm so sorry, Luyanda. How could I forget?
Problem.
I am so sorry. My sincerest apologies to the YPG fam in Guatemala. They are such an amazing team with Sandy and them. How could I forget? And Luyanda, you were the person who dropped my phone. I'm taking you out live here in the 5 o'clock.
I'm so sorry, yeah, but it was me.
I'm joking. I'm really no. I'm not joking. She did drop my phone, guys. But I'm joking about the whole thing. It must have been the jet lag. You must just say, PJ, it was a jet lag. We had just had a long flight and all of that.
Sure.
Okay. Send a shout out, please, to the YPG fam. By the way, your picture is here on everybody sees your picture. Please send a shout out to the fam that side, and they'll be waiting for the thing here on the comment section.
Okay, sure. Let me see.
Don't forget the shout out whilst you're typing or copying or something. Okay, then let me appear here. More Blessing says that no weapon formed against short peeps shall prosper. Our height matters as we rise. Oh my goodness. Anyways, whilst Luyanda is getting things here in order, she's going to put it down in the comment section. In the morrows, we are going to have a 3-way battle. Tomorrow is going to be hot. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't have the poster here. We're going to have Limpopo versus Mpumalanga versus Northern Cape. So we're going to have these three. We're going to have the challenge of the geniuses here. We want to see who knows the difference between rise and rice. That's more or less where we're going to be heading. So prepare yourselves. 7 p.m. we are going to be back with it. All right. And that's it basically from my side. Just reminding you that your English must be good and your BMI must be matching. So if you're eating too much maguinas and you are wider than you are supposed to be, then it might be that you won't be able to get into the job. And you must make sure that you guys know how to swim. If you can't swim, and Lisa, guys, it's not going to be happening. All right. So next week, we're going to come back, have another career, and the couples will be back. The couples will be back. And the triple threat in the morrows at 7 p.m. All right. Luyanda, any last words before we wrap up?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to say something. So all aviation schools are private, so there's no bursaries. Basically, if you're gonna go there, you will have to spend your own money.
Okay. I'm showing them the
Yeah.
Kaching sign here. The Kaching sign. Sorry, guys. There's no bursary here. You don't go from matric and just, somebody rocks up and that kind of stuff. So you guys have to really know how to either budget or your parents sort you out, or you got to work and actually deal with it. Okay. Luyanda, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm sure that it will inspire. The reason why I wanted to have this segment is also to show you guys a little bit about the lives of our YPG fam. That we got our fam everywhere. The YPG indeed is everywhere. And our work here leads the YPG to indeed go to another level. So sometimes you hear us saying, guys, do this, do that, go in this direction and you will see the success. We also wanted to show a little bit to you guys that, hey, we have people who are making it or have made it already, and we want you to make it as well. All right. So we're going to be signing out. In the morrows, we'll be back 7 p.m. Triple threat, Mpumalanga, Limpopo, and Northern Cape. Who's going to be taking it? We'll be live here 7 p.m. Get yourselves ready. Okay. I am out of here. Luyanda, thank you so much. A huge shout out to you. Keep pushing and please keep us informed. Make us proud wherever you go and fly the YPG flag very high above all the name of Jesus.
Thank you, PJ. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, our pleasure, the YPG fam. Send a shout out to the YPG fam. You didn't say you say thank you, PJ. What about the YPG fam?
Okay, shout out to my YPG fam in Guatemala, Sandy, Tihu, and the crew, especially to Explosion. Shout out, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, so she's not flying tomorrow, guys. She's going to be in Guatemala. If you guys are in Guatemala, the address is... That's your part, Luyanda.
We are in Konankosi and Hinta, next to the post office, behind the clinic.
Okay. I heard it, right? If you didn't, rewind after the live. Okay, thank you so much. Guys, God bless you. We are out of here. Bye-bye. Let's keep going to another level. See you all in the morrows. I'm not even going to wrap up with the song, guys. You're all just going to see the thing there, and then you know it's done. Then when you can just post it there in the comment section. I'll ask the media guys to pin it there for us to see your comment there.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh my goodness. Our fam here. See you guys. Bye-bye. See you guys. Lights out. If it's not... I'm just reading the comment section here, guys. I wasn't meant to carry on. This is I got distracted here by y'all's comments. You guys are awesome. Bye-bye.